All right, some news about this upcoming game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The injury reports are out, and we have some clarity on who may or may not play. The Browns have ruled out two players. Jeff Swain, tight end. He's like the third, fourth string tight end. He's out with the concussion. Um, and Jedrick Wills, who is a bit of a surprise because I thought he was back healthy a couple weeks ago. Came in, played. I guess he dinged up that injury again. With Jed, the waters are so muddy when it comes to his motivation at this point with some of the quotes that he's put out there that I don't know how this is going to be received. And well, I do know how this is going to be received. I think a lot of people are going to react to this as if like Jed's not trying to play. And I don't know if that's the truth or not with Jed because he's made it such an open debate on what his enthusiasm is to actually do his job because of the quotes that he's put out there. I mean, I did the whole video when he had the business decision quote, I was like, I'm done with them. And it wasn't just because of the business decision quote, it was the lack of personal accountability that he's taken over the fact that he got benched. You know, and now I don't know. It don't sit right with me that he gets an opportunity to play again, but it feels like he's like, nah, I don't want to take it. I don't know. He ain't got it in him, man. That dog in him that you need to be a top tier starting tackle. I just don't think he has it, to be honest with you. Talent is there, but the mental ability to do what needs to be done to take full advantage of those natural gifts, it's not there. It's not there, man. And it's unfortunate, but I just don't think he got that in him, man. So no Jedrick Wills. Joe Batonio, though, he did practice full. He was on the injury report. Jordan Hicks, he practiced full. He'll play. Maurice Hurst will practice and played. Same thing with Jerry Jeudy. Elijah Moore, full practice. He will play. Myles Garrett, full practice. He will play. Greg Newsome, full practice, will play. David Njoku, full practice, will play. DTR will be active. Denzel Ward, full practice, will play. So other than Jed Wills, who, I mean, it's at this point, it's debatable if he's even better than Jermaine Ifedi, he's going to be out. But let's look at Pittsburgh because they're missing a couple of key players too. Cam Hayward and Larry Ogunjobi both have not practiced all week, but that seems to be a vet rest situation there. But Alex Highsmith is ruled out. That's one of their top edge rushers. That is a big deal because he's the dude who lines up on the left side. So you're not going starter on backup for Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. It's going to be backup versus backup. It's going to be Nick Herbig versus Jermaine Ifedi, which I don't think you feel great about either because Nick Herbig is a decent player. Well, it's not going to be Nick Herbig. It's going to be Preston Smith versus Jermaine Ifedi. But at least it's not, he has to go through the whole rotation of those edge players. So you feel okay about that. On the right side, you have Jack Conklin versus TJ Watt. You feel okay about that. It's really the interior that I'm worried about. Cam Hayward gives the Browns hell every year, and he specifically gives Joe Batonio hell every year, and Joel ain't looking like Joel, so we'll see how the interior of this offensive line holds up in this game. But those are going to be the two players who are out. Corey Trice being out despite having 3 full practices is a little bit weird for Pittsburgh. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle. It definitely would be an upset if the Browns were able to beat Pittsburgh. And it would be a vibe changer if the Browns were able to beat Pittsburgh this week. So we'll see exactly what happens and what the vibe is for Sunday. But Ifedi is going to start at left tackle. We had this interesting news story about Dawand Jones clapping back at friend of the show, Adam the Bull. I've had him on my channel. I've been on his channel before. He was on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and he made a comment about Dawand Jones's weight and if that injury will affect his ability to be in shape. And Dawand clapped back with a pretty hilarious tweet. Like, no disrespect to Bull, but it was a pretty hilarious tweet saying that I think we both have a weight problem, but I'll be better this offseason. I do want to talk about like the whole concern with with Dawand Jones, the weight issues that he had this year, right? Because it was clear that he came into camp out of shape, and that affected the Browns' plan with him this year. And how we talk about it, right? Because I watched the clip from Adam, and I would say I did not love how Adam approached that situation. Like, speculating on whether he had a eating disorder or not just felt wildly inappropriate, right? Like, Dawand has been a big dude pretty much his entire life. I don't know if it's fair to speculate that he has an eating disorder or maybe he just didn't have a good year to like. I don't love speculating on why players are the weight that they are. I think that is a dangerous territory to get to. So I do think that Dawand was fair to clap back at Adam on this whole thing. For Dawand, what I want to see is just him live up to what he just said in there, right? Like he said, I'm going to be better this offseason. And that's all I want to see from Dawand is him being better this offseason and taking it very seriously. It's going to be tough, but I also think that this season was a wake-up call for Dawand Jones when it comes to how his weight has clearly affected his ability to stay on the field. I think for most of his life, he's been able to be whatever size he wants to, and there's been relatively no consequence. Honestly, it's been a benefit to him in his football career to be as heavy as he can be because he plays offensive line, and that weight helps. But now he's gotten to a size and a point in his career where that extra weight is going to increase his ability to get injured. And if you look at Dawand Jones this season, what you can define it as is one, that weight was hurting him when it comes to the speed around the edge. So he wasn't able to do his job with all of that extra weight. And two, the weight became a problem when it comes to his ability to stay healthy, right? Like, I don't think the weight's why he broke his fibula, right? That's not something that makes a ton of sense there. But it probably didn't help that he's adding all that extra weight on top of it, right? I think he's too big for his frame. And he's getting injured more because of it. He was coming in and out of games all the time because of injury, even when he was healthy. And I think that's going to be something Dawand is going to have to think about is, hey, I got to do things, adjust how I approach my game planning for the off season to get a little bit lighter because it's not helping me be a good football player anymore. I think his whole life he got positive reinforcement for being as big as possible because it helped. And now he's at the point of his career where it's like, okay, yeah, this ain't working no more. So I think he means it when he says he'll come into camp doing much better next year. And I hope he does. And the one thing I will give Dawand a lot of credit for, as much as I've been hard on him this season, because I think he has not had the best season he could have. Every time that he's had his back against the wall, he's responded to that with action, right? He was awful at right tackle when he stepped in for Jack Conklin. And then he got benched for James Hudson. And after that, he gets an opportunity to play left tackle. Much different attitude. Not really taking plays off, right? Not doing all the stuff that was bothering us about him. Really stepped up to the plate. Looked like he even lost some weight in the meantime. So that's the one thing about Dawand that I do like, right? When we talked about at the beginning of this video. I don't know if Jed Wills has that thing in him that makes him able to take advantage of all of the tools that he physically possesses on the football field. With Dawand, I'm a bit more sure of that because I've seen this guy respond to adversity with more effort than I've ever seen with Jedrick Wills. And that's why I feel a lot better about his ability to go on. The last bit of news I want to talk about here is the Browns Hard Knocks, the AFC Hard Knocks. They just dropped the trailer. You can go check that out. It's all over the place. Just search In Season Hard Knocks AFC North. You'll find it. They did announce a premiere date, which is December 3rd. I think I'm going to cover this as long as they're still covering the Cleveland Browns in this series, because I think we're going to find out some interesting things on how things went down. But that's it for the news today. Let me know what you think. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.